the Saab Question Everything series. Polymaths are men and women who play multiple roles in their day-to-day lives. They look at the world with curiosity, interest and a desire to learn and find out more. It's the art of being fearless when embracing new challenges. They're free thinkers with the ability to see the big picture and handle fine detail too. They see their talents as limitless. Anyone can be a polymath. Motivation is all you need. Tony runs his own company, is a travel photographer and writer, makes his own films, is a broadcaster and is also a father.
Probably one of the most difficult questions to answer is actually what do I do? I suppose I like to work in lots of different disciplines. The description I would use, it's like languages, that if you speak one language, it's very hard to learn a second language. But if you speak 4 or 5 languages, it's actually relatively easy to learn a 6th and 7th language. I've got 10 jobs to wind down. I've got various proposals I need to get over for the North Korean exhibition.
Tony's life is the essence of polymathy, and one of his successful roles is running his own business, Einstein's Octopus, which builds sets, makes models and does special effects for the film industry.
Einstein's Octopus is essentially me in the fact that I'm the managing director. And I like to base myself in the office as much as I can. I might have to go for meetings with production companies, which would be either in the East End or Soho. I'm here to see Pletts PR, who are London's leading sports consultancy PR agency. The original kind of drawings, and it was sort of like that as a sort of feature piece at the end.
Tony's often on set overseeing the builds.
Well, everything's going to plan.
What about the floor space? When do you think you're going to get that painted?
We've got a test over there in the corner, actually.
This is pretty much a day-to-day scene at Einstein's. There's a large crew of people building a set. The wonderful thing about working with film is that it's only ever going to be 7 or 8 months a year. By definition, you're chasing jobs that don't happen. You go through prolonged downtime periods. And the way to keep sane while you're actually in those periods is to pick up other projects.
His other projects also include travel photography and writing.
I've been seriously interested in photography since 1984, which is when I first started travelling properly. I took a camera with me and I realised that it was a way of capturing moods and emotions that were sort of also working with the written work that I was doing at the time. It started with me writing fairly simple journals and taking snaps and showing my friends, and then over the years I started writing rather thicker journals, and then when computers came along I started desktop publishing and illustrating them. And then from that I went on and I've got commissions for journalistic commissions for covering travel stories, and now I have a travel writing folio and a travel photography folio. I have work represented on the net at Alumni. From that has also sprung radio shows. I've made a couple of radio shows for the BBC about North Korea.
Tony's life as a broadcaster has been the direct result of his travel writing.
It was winning the Time Out travel writing competition that allowed me to get into broadcast, because they paid for me to go to North Korea. I had stuff published from that, and that then gave me the credibility to be able to go forward and do radio.
As well as all his other lives, he's found himself in the role of filmmaker.
What became a method of just recording soon turned into projects, and then the projects turned into serious projects. I've now made 7 or 8 films, and they're mostly on the subject of travel, and particularly when I've been travelling with my son, and I've been recording quite intensely the experiences that we've had across India and in Mongolia.
As a father, it's important to Tony that he includes his son Dexter in many of his projects.
My role as a father is kind of pivotal to everything that I do, because in many respects it grounds me. In some ways it's the greatest work that you're doing. I've had a project with Dexter because he came from a broken home. He spends half his time in Scotland. I took his toys on adventures to say, you've still got a life in London, Dex, it's still here. I've now got about 800 or 900 hero shots, which I've just edited into a couple of books, with hopefully to take out there and introduce children to the concept of the world through these teddies who've been having these most extraordinary adventures. I mean, this is very much a physical manifestation of my role as a father and my photography coming together, and of course travel as well.
A polymath is not afraid of hard work. They relish the opportunity to dig deeper and gain greater understanding. This is Tony to a T. By combining his multiple lives, he not only achieves this, but he finds it gives him a sense of calm and groundedness.
Quite often I will work on 3 or 4 different projects in the same day. When there's lots of things going on, when I'm working on a job and I've got creative projects going on, there's a radio deadline or we're putting on a party or something like that, and all these things are going along and they're all happening at the same time. It's rather like being in the eye of a whirlwind with all these things going around you, but actually you're left in the middle, fairly sort of stationary, fairly calm and fairly zen. And in many respects, because there are so many things circling around you, it almost gives you a centre of gravity. There is a sense of place and there is a sense of the fact that things are as they should be. And for me, that's often when I'm at my happiest, when I'm in that kind of a situation.
Tony feels that his lives are interconnected and that each different role informs and adds value to the others.
I suppose with Einstein's, a lot of the film sets and things we do might have some degree of sort of outside influence, or if someone wants an Indian set or something with a Japanese feel or something like that, if they come to me, at least I've often got a physical first-hand experience of being in these places. I mean, in terms of getting articles published now when you're travelling, the writing and photography absolutely sort of segment together in the most pure way. Doing lots of different things helps create an overall perspective for each area, because you realise that there's more to life than any one single aspect. Essentially, it's like yin and yang, and it allows me to keep a harmony within my life very much.
It's Tony's creativity and desire to get to grips with the finer detail of projects, like filmmaking and photography, that enable him to gain mastery. Tony's polymathic lifestyle is a lesson to us all. His ability to embrace different roles means that he's successfully able to marry the different strands of his life and create harmony with a definite sense of purpose.